What's going on? This is Coach Christian over at the Vitality Mill, and today I want to show you guys 5 key exercises that can be performed with body weight. We do have a couple of pieces of equipment that would be crucial to kind of have. So one would be a resistance band. Doesn't have to be a whole lot of resistance, but something that you can perform some rows with, so I'll take you guys through that. The other piece of equipment, very cheap. You can get one at Walmart. I have a couple that I've gotten from Walmart for like 10 to 12 bucks, and this will be like a glute band. So this is something a little bit thicker, a little bit more resistance than just your standard resistance band. So the first exercise I want to take you guys through is we're just going to go through some push-ups. So with this movement, I'll show you a couple of ways that you can do it for beginners, and then also more of an advanced version. So first way we're going to do this here, we're going to lay all the way down on our stomach. Hands are going to go right on the outside of your lower chest. We're keeping our elbows in tight. We don't want to do our push-ups with our elbows out. Over time, that'll just eventually put a lot of stress on our shoulder joints. So keeping those elbows in tight will help you press with a lot more force, and then also just longevity-wise allow you to do it for a lot longer. So all the way down, hands in line with my lower chest. My feet are shoulder width apart. I'm going to press up, squeeze my triceps, squeeze my chest, and then slowly lower myself all the way back to the ground from my starting position, and then press up from there. Now, being a beginner, if this is difficult to do a standard push-up this way, you can always use your knees. Still same starting position. We're going to start all the way on the ground. You're going to press up, keep your knees on the ground, still locking out your chest, still squeezing your chest and locking out your triceps at the top of the movement, and then just lowering yourself all the way back down. If you want to make it more challenging from your knees, you can go almost to the floor. That way you still have tension on your triceps, but we're still watching those elbows, keeping those in tight. I even have another regression. If even from your knees is very difficult, we can do what's more of a cobra push-up. So in this position, the same exact starting position, hands in line with your lower chest, elbows in. Now this one you're going to push up from your hips. Your hips down will stay on the ground. We're just pushing up our upper body, going into that cobra position, keeping our core engaged, and we're locking out our triceps here. So still working on building your tricep strength, but just another way to scale it down, even if you can't do it from your knees, which is totally fine. So I'm still feeling this movement in my triceps there. All right, the next exercise is going to be another body weight exercise. Show you a couple of ways to do this. The most standard way, especially for a beginner, if you've never done a squat before, is to use a box, a couch at your house, a bench, anything like that that's about, I would say, in line with your knee is a good position there. What we're going to do is we're going to line our heels up with the outside of this box. If you don't have something that's this width, you can always just kind of put your feet just outside of shoulder width, and that's a good standard position. So my toes are going to be pointed slightly out. What that's going to do is open up my hips and allow me to sit into my squat and not be so closed off with my knees caving in. So we want to watch those knees with that squat motion there. So heels in line with the box, toes slightly pointed out. I'm going to keep a tall chest. Hands are going to go out in front of me, palms up. What this is going to do is ensure that I keep my chest up and I'm not folding forward on my squat. So I'm keeping an upright posture. Palms are staying up. I'm going to push my hips back, and then I'm going to trust that box behind me, sit into it. As soon as my glutes touch the box, I'm going to stand up, lock out, and squeeze my quads at the top. So tall chest. All of the weight is right in the center of my feet, so my toes are gripping the floor, keeping a tall chest. I'm going to stand up, squeeze my legs at the top there. All of these exercises I'm going to show you, except for the last one, they can all be performed 4 sets of 10, and you can kind of start at the top with them and run through them, a circuit just like that for 4 sets of 10. That's a good standard workout that can be performed 3 to 5 days out of the week to keep you good and active. The next exercise I want to show you guys is going to be a band row. So this one is going to require some equipment. If it wasn't a crucial movement, I would find another body weight exercise, but with this, I think it'll be very beneficial for you to just invest in the band, because then there's tons of other exercises you can learn and use with the band. So with the band rows, we're going to step into the band. Feet are going to be about shoulder width, and you can grab as much tension as you need in that band based off how low you grab closer to your feet. So I'm going to grab about a medium amount of attention to show you the movement. Feet are gonna be shoulder width. I'm gonna push my hips back and I'm gonna bring my hands down to my lower knee here. So this is a good standard rowing position. My core's engaged. Nice straight line from my head down to my tailbone, so I'm keeping a flat back. With this, I'm going to drive my elbows to my ribs, squeeze my shoulder blades together, and then control it all the way down to the full stretch back to that starting position. So driving those elbows through, squeezing your back. Almost think about a pencil in between your shoulder blades, and you're going to trap that pencil at the top of the movement. So row, squeeze your back, control it on the way down. And then next exercise we're going to go into here is we're going to go right into a glute bridge. So this is a good compound movement. Our core is going to be engaged, our quads, our glutes, our hamstrings, we're driving through our feet. So this is a good compound movement to work a lot of muscles at once. I'll show you just the body weight version first before we go into this band here. The band isn't essential, but I think you really benefit from it if you want to scale the workout up a little bit. So with the glute bridge, I'm going to lay all the way down on the ground. I'm trying to scoop my heels fairly close to my glutes because the closer my heels are to my glutes, the more range of motion I'm going to get on the exercise. So I'm going to lay down here, bring my heels close to my glutes, feet are shoulder width apart. I'm going to go palms in the ground, keep my head back against the floor. Drive through my heels. I'm trying to get my hips up to the ceiling. I'm squeezing my glutes together. So kind of a little bit of a weird analogy, but I'm thinking about an acorn between my butt cheeks, and I'm going to crack that acorn between my butt cheeks. So I'm flexing my glutes, hold it for a second, control it on the way down. As soon as my butt touches the ground, I'm going to go right back up, driving through my heels. So you can almost even have your toes up if you want to ensure that you're putting all the weight in your heels. That way you're feeling it all in the posterior chain here. So hamstrings, glutes, lower back is being worked, our core is being worked. So hold that squeeze. We're going to go 10 repetitions, making sure to get a good squeeze at the top, core staying engaged the whole time, so keeping that belly button pulled in to my spine. Now with the band here, this band can help us provide a little bit of resistance. So I'm going to slide my feet through the band. I'm bringing that band right above my knees. I'm going to repeat that motion. But now I'm not going to let this band drive my knees in. So I'm going to constantly press against that band to drive my knees out. I'll even show you this angle here. So you can see me actively pressing my knees out. And then I'm going to repeat that motion, drive through, squeeze my glutes. Now that squeeze at the top is way more intense because I have resistance. And notice at the top and the bottom of the movement, I'm never letting that band pull my knees in. Still staying in my heels, cracking that acorn between my cheeks at the top of every rep. So focusing on those little minor details that help get the best bang for your buck. Last exercise here, I want to show you guys a core movement. So core is very important, almost with any exercise you do, but especially a compound movement like a squat, a press, even that glute bridge there. Your core needs to be activated throughout the entire movement. That way you're not putting any other stress on any of the other muscles. If you ever have lower back pain or really back pain in general, that could be because you have a weak core. So think about that just like the nucleus. It's the center of everything. So you got to take care of that in order to take care of everything else around it. So the last exercise I want to show you guys, this will be great for core stability, is just a body weight plank. Definitely ways to scale this up and scale this down. I'm going to show you a couple of ways. The easiest way here, just like I talked about with the edge of a bench, your couch at the house, is you can stack your hands on an elevated surface. I'm going to keep my hands in line with my shoulders. That way I'm right over the top of whatever it is that we have our hands elevated on. My belly button is pulled into my spine. My feet are about shoulder width apart. And I'm keeping a nice flat back posture here. Keeping my core engaged. Breathe in, breathe out. My belly button the whole time is constantly pulled into my spine. That way I'm keeping that stability all in the center there. So stack hands in line with shoulders. Hold this position. If you want to get even more of an intense squeeze on it, you can tuck your tailbone just a little bit, squeeze your glutes, and still making sure I'm able to draw a nice straight line from the back of my head down to my heels. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, we can ditch the platform, go down from the ground, go right into an L shape with our arms. Make sure our elbows are in line with our shoulders. We're going to drop down. Same thing, feet are about shoulder width, keeping my core engaged, keeping my glutes tight, belly button pulled into the spine, and then breathe in, breathe out, and you can hold this plank position here. These can be held for especially starting out, 15 to 30 seconds. You can kind of throw this in with that circuit where you're doing 4 rounds of the other movements together, and just hold that for 15 to 30 seconds to start out, and then as the weeks go on, you can gradually build up from there. So those are 5 key body weight exercises that I think you can really benefit from and throw into your normal daily routine. So Coach Christian here again at the Vitality Mill. I hope that helps you guys out. Talk soon.